Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Sunday night with Johnboy and Snicko. Finals edition, week 2, part dos. It's been a busy week of finals. We said goodbye to two teams. It's kind of like Love Island, I guess, but two teams are bashing the hell out of each other. Snicko, you've enjoyed your view from the sideline. How did the first finals week go for you in your estimation?
That is one strange analogy, John Boy. That is one that many viewers won't get, but I will. Big fan. Anyway, great week for me personally as a neutral watching the finals. There's no stress and all the excitement, which is exactly how I like things to go. Keen viewers would note, prediction-wise, I went 4 from 4 last week. You went 2 from 4?
2 from 4. 2 from 4. So I was pretty good.
Half as good as me with twice the yap. So I think we'll call this show from now on the Snicko Show on a Sunday with John Boy. How do you feel about that?
I should have reached for the bonkers button because that's ridiculous. Look, if good teams have lulls, all I'm saying is that, that was just a temporary lull. How could I have foreseen that the Wires were going to choke a 12-6 lead at halftime to the Bulldogs? It was actually a really good game for the Dogs. We'll touch more on that in this review. But we'll start with the qualifying finals. We'll go to the eliminations. And the qualies were quite good. I, in particular, really enjoyed watching the Wires Bulldogs game. I was in the box for that. Best seats in the house. And the Dogs just have that thing about them. Tyrese Tonga is a dog, bro. And obviously, literally, he's a Bulldog. But he is fantastic. He tore the Wires to shreds all game. He's a line break machine. And I really thought the Wires struggled to contain that edge core of the Bulldogs. Jamal Kasakau as well at that 12 jumper. He's excellent. He's really, really good on defense. I think you need that.
Pause.
Yeah, unpause. But then the Raiders took on the Dolphins. They pumped them. The rest of the games saw the Tigers and the Eels sadly bow out of finals contention. It's been a big week. So to dissect and summarize it all, we'll quickly head over to our 6 again, Snicko, and I'll start us off.
10 meters.
And for my first 6 again, I think there's a storm brewing. I really, really liked what I saw from the Storm in their Tigers win. They kind of lost the plot a bit in the last 12 minutes, but their front row is huge. I mean, Lachlan Lockyer, he's a man mountain, and he's got Nahana Broughton Thompson on the other side of him, and Terence Terry, Oliver Arklay are all well over 6 foot. I think the Warriors could have some trouble looking their way from the way that the Storm played. They were fantastic, and I think they're really building some momentum, Snicko.
Yeah, I just think country artist Gary Allen said it best. Every storm runs out of rain, and will this storm continue for another 4 weeks? We're out of El Nino. We're into the other one. Dry spell coming. So I've heard. I don't actually believe the weather. But for my one, I think I'd like to touch on the Bulldogs, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I'm sure you won't. I've been a big fan of the Bulldogs for quite a while now. Avid listeners of the pod will know this, and I think they're going to go very far in the competition. But one thing I've noticed recently, maybe it's as they've won more games, I'm not sure, but they got some weird dudes in their team, man. And I think the Bulldogs' biggest issue is going to be making sure no one gets striked before their prelim finals. That's 2 weeks that they need to behave themselves. The irony of Daniel Hellier having to tell his team to calm down. John Boy, you've been on his team before. Even, in fact, you might have even vice-captained him, so you can certainly understand the irony there. Were you in chat on Wednesday night, John Boy?
I was, and it genuinely may have been the weirdest
Bizarre.
chat. It, honestly,
Bizarre.
At times, bordering on absurd. I think the cherry on top was genuinely Daniel telling his boys to calm down. Damo must be laughing somewhere, like just quietly at how the turntables. But move to the third tackle on our 6 against Snicko. And
Sure.
the Raiders, I think they should be nervous about who they play out of the Storm and the Wires. I know they had a fantastic win on the weekend, but this Storm Wires game is going to be huge in terms of, well, obviously who they play, but both teams are excellent. I'd argue probably that semi-final was better quality than the other one, and that's including my beloved Sharks, but the Storm Wires game, for me, will be the game of the round anyway. And I think the Raiders will struggle against the Wires. They got beaten by them comfortably in round 3 earlier in the season, and I think that they'll be hoping for a Storm upset, because otherwise it'll be a very nervy 2 weeks for the boys from Canberra.
Interesting. I will keep us moving forward. Thank you for your mild take. Good teams are in the finals. Thank you, John Boy. I'm glad that we established that one.
Shut
I
up,
want to touch on I'm going to touch on one of the not so good teams in the finals, the Cronulla Sharks. It's an aquatic showdown this week against the Dolphins. And Justin Plays famously once said, good teams don't lose 3 games in a row. And personally, I'd argue good teams don't lose at all. But I don't know, he's in the finals and I'm not. So we're going to go with what he said. And if you track back, the Dolphins' last game lost to the Raiders. The game before that lost to the Raiders, which means this week that's their 3rd game in a row. And you've said it yourself, John Boy. Dolphins are a good team, and as we know, they don't lose 3 in a row. So Sharks, adios.
Bonkers.
You are correct. They are a good team, but they're going to face a better team. And unfortunately, there's only going to us. Good team. Hey, look, bad teams don't make semi-finals. That's all I'm going to say. And they may take the elongated route there, but they get there eventually. There was just a bit of turbulence on the flight. But for my last 6 against Snicko, I think I'll hit up the Dolphins because they actually built really nice to my point. They were really poor on that Monday. They were hopeless, couldn't complete, couldn't kick, got just choked out of the ball game early. The game was over by the first half. The scoreline almost flattered them in the end, and I think they just may have used up all their magic in the regular season, and that they may be getting found out by better quality teams in this regular season.
If you keep up to date with your AI, you know that Claude recently released Fable, which was then nixed immediately for being too dangerous. I think that was Justin Plays. I think he figured something out using Fable and the government had to shut it down immediately. So the Sharks could be in a whole lot of trouble.
He's at the forefront of AI development, Justin Plays. What's your last 6 against Snicko?
The forefront of AI usage, at least anyway. My last one is going to be about the Warriors, and Warriors specifically spelt with an O and not an A, because I'm worried about the Warriors, and more importantly, I'm worried for their players who haven't won a finals game in 2 seasons. Sorry, that's actually okay. A lot of people haven't won a finals games yet, but they've lost every game they've played in the finals in 2 seasons, and I fear only a little bit. I'm actually really excited that this might happen because it'd be funny that they might get a straight set specialist tag applied to them if they do it again. 2 seasons in a row to go out in straight sets would just be unfathomable for a team that we called the benchmark for, 13 out of 15 rounds this season. So is it an all-time choke? I'm not sure. What's your take on that one, John Boy?
I think it would be an all-time choke. Given they look better this year than they did last year, and to go out in straight sets again would be, unfathomable.
The only thing worse than losing 2 in a row would be losing 3 in a row to miss the 8. And if any team did that, they'd be horrified. Let me tell you. But I think we speak about their game last week. They were up 12-6 at halftime. We mentioned that earlier. A few cataclysmic errors, and then Reece Davis slotted a nice 40-20. I've said it before, John Boy. You know what I say about pressure. I'm going to start collecting royalties soon, but the same pressure that boils an egg
softens a potato. Yeah.
Softens a potato. And the Warriors, they're looking a bit mashed at the moment, let me tell you.
Looking like... Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's go. Yeah, he's got to start... I think Snicko's already copyrighted that term, to be honest. He's got to start making bank on it. But with the 6 against done and dusted, Snicko, we've got no Greek Freak of the Week, if I'm correct.
No, unfortunately, I've delved through all that mythology and no one can compare to the storylines that we're putting out in the SRL at the moment.
Yeah, certainly. So I think to fill the space, I've got a special announcement to make, and as was
a special one,
a very special one. And as it was announced at the start of the week, or the middle of the week at least, I would be stepping down from the Sharks captaincy after the culmination of this season. And the reason I'll be stepping down is because from season 2.3 onwards, I will be joining the Roosters as their captain going into 2.3 to replace Snicko Bro and Justin Dolan, or Justin Dolan and Snicko Bro more accurately. I've gone on to pastures anew. And I think also, Snicko, that this will be a pseudo announcement of you leaving the Roosters, because we will both be, I think, Plats at the time of the release.
Correct, yes. Very glad I don't have to tell you I don't want to play for you. This way I can just leave peacefully.
But there's big shoes to fill, or small shoes, I guess, and Dolan's. So, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, got a job to do, and so that will be the focus moving forward. But that's all I've got on that announcement, Snicko.
Yeah, I think just on that, if you look back at the history of the Roosters in 1.0 and 2.0, we're built on a graveyard or something, hey, because there's a few curses in that team. So good luck. I sincerely wish you the best. But yeah, look. it's a task, that's for sure. Anyway, but if we're on announcements, before I get too sad about the fact that we sucked as Roosters, we'll just keep moving forward. Should we do another captaincy, do you think?
I reckon
You started us.
I reckon we might as well keep going, bro.
Do the fans want it? Yep, the crowd's telling me they do. I'll do the Tigers one if you want. We know the Tigers, Jeff Keane stepped down 2 or 3 weeks before finals, I believe. To much fanfare, he was quite the crowd favourite. And so I'm very excited to announce that his replacement is going to be his vice captain, Anthony Boone. Recently stepped in to the representative captaincy role, which is exciting for him, and he'll be able to use whatever he learns in this offseason to really take the Tigers, hopefully, to a new level, because we know how strong their culture is. He, of course, big locker room presence, allegedly, will keep that going forward, and hopefully he can, all the manifesting they're doing for a few 19-plus wins can come to fruition.
Yeah, look, I think we've always said that, it's not the 19-plus that does us in, it's the lack of execution that goes along with 19-plus. So, look,
actually, for me, it's the radio silence for weeks on end until they win a game by 2 points and they start saying 19-plus again.
I quite enjoyed the week when he beat them by 30 points, to be honest. But look, great appointment. He's been in and around leadership or representative leadership circle for a while. He was given the European job at the start of the season, or the middle of the season, and it's just a continuation of a lot of hard work. I think he's done very well. I think he needs an experienced vice captain, but those aren't conversations we can have till maybe 2 or 3 weeks time from now, when all the picture of leadership is all a bit clearer. But Snicko, I think we should give the people one more. What do you reckon?
One more song? I feel like I'm at a big concert.
We are at a concert.
Just walked off, but she's about to run back out and give a shake it off.
Tay is going to run back on.
She does last.
And this next captain is actually going to have to shake off a finals defeat, because I'm proud to announce that your Eels captain for season 2.3, replacing the departing Anthony McDonald, will be none other than Podgy Hodgie from the Cronulla Sharks. He steps in to that Eels captaincy role, fresh off a very successful season with the Sharks, in which he's joined our leadership group, and he's been fantastic. He's also been appointed Pacifica captain, and so he's going to be able to apply the experience he learns from the rep round, rep arena, into clubland with the Eels. He's an Eels fan, I know, a pretty diehard one, and he loves getting around it, loves the active shit. He's one of the most active people in this league, and so he's been appointed for good reason. Super well deserved. He's still learning his craft, and he may be someone else who may benefit from a more experienced hand at vice captain. But that is all a discussion for another time. I think, interestingly enough, a tidbit from the cap, what I can glean, is that he will have Anthony McDonald available to him to keep, because Podgy will not be a platinum, if I'm not mistaken. Depends if he wants to bring another one over, but I think having AMAC as your plat middle could be a lot worse for you, Snicko.
Not wrong, and yes, I think that's our first official Snicko speculation, even if it came from you. Where will AMAC end up? I'm not sure. I think I can already hear the whispers linking him to every single club, including those that have a platinum captain. I'm not sure how that will work, but we'll have to wait and see what the column conjures for us.
Well, that
was fun. That was fun. Three is good. Should we do 4? That's the real question.
I think we should do 4, Snicko.
I agree. And so I think, actually, you know what? We'll leave it for next week. Let's go to previews.
No,
They're officially announced tomorrow, I think. All captaincies Monday, the 6th of June, as per our timeline. So you know what? Let's build some anticipation on to previews.
Well, we can't get them all the good stuff in one night, surely. But the previews...
Yeah, Mum told me that once when I was dating.
Yeah.
That was her advice.
Well, no, actually, my mum said we've got captaincies at home. So we'll go out to the previews. And it's very easy this week. Only 2 games. Not quite sure what the schedule's going to look like, but look, there's only 2 games, so it's either Monday or Tuesday. So we'll start with semi-final 1, and we'll go with the White Storm game. That's my game of the round. I'm going to go Storm. Oh, God, this will be hard. Warriors 1-8. And the Wires finally get a finals win. I think the Storm will come unstuck, not through any lack of trying. The Wires are a tough team to beat at home. Although the Raptors got up over them earlier, but I just don't see Damo going 0-4 in finals. He's too good a captain for his teams to do that to him. And I think the Storm... Eyes closed. We say goodbye to the Storm in the coming week. I think they may be voted off the island.
Yeah, I think actually on Love Island, when you don't have a partner, you don't get voted off. You may be thinking of Survivor. Or
I actually think it's Survivor. No, I'm definitely thinking of Survivor. But the second game will be Sharks-Dolphins, Sharks 19. Plus, Sharks march on to the preliminary finals, and I get to go to back-to-back top 4s at least. Yeah, I think the Sharks we've learnt our lesson from a dodgy week 1 in which we were not at our best, but we still managed to come out with a win. The Dolphins looked pretty abysmal against the Raiders, and I suppose the silver lining is it couldn't get much worse for them, one would think, after that showing. He goes back to the well.
Yeah, I think just to jump in, I would just firstly like to say I'm going for Storm, not for Warriors, for reasons mentioned earlier in the podcast. Scroll back if you wish to hear those. But on the second game, I'm very excited for this one, John Boy.
Yeah, please hit me with it. Why are you excited?
It's just going to be a good game of football, I think. I'm not sure who's going to win because we know that one-on-one a Shark's going to take on a Dolphin like most of the time, unless you've got, I don't know, a grey nurse shark or a basking shark or something. But, you know, the Cronulla Sharks, they're aggressive ones. So they would win one-on-one against most Dolphins. 17-on-17, however, unsure. Sharks famously don't work together. They often swim together, but they don't work together like Dolphins do. So you may think, you know, with the full 13 on the paddock, the Dolphins will get up. But I don't know how these things go on land, John Boy. So I'm really, really unsure how this one's going to go. And furthermore, if they were to do a triathlon, it'll all come down to the cycle leg, wouldn't it?
Snicko, where do you find a shark on land? Where do you find a dolphin on land either? Too. Where do you find them on land?
You're right. Dolphins 9-18.
You find them at a fish and chip shop. But I think we'll win the 90 plus and be rather comfortable, and that I won't have any heart attacks on this game. This will be the second time we've played in the finals too. We can't escape Justin plays, apparently.
Did you get him last time, or did he get you?
I got him last time. We beat them in the prelims before the grand final, which I don't want to talk about anymore. So your game of the round then, I suppose, is Sharks.
It's got to be the Iconic Showdown.
Yeah,
actually, changed my mind. Storm Warriors.
God, you flip-flopping like a jandal. But otherwise, that is our preview wrapped up. So rest assured, SRL fans, me and Snicko are going to be harassing your eardrums the rest of the final series. We'll have some specials planned for you coming up. A lot of yap to get through still. But in the meantime, thanks for sticking with us. Look, Monday, Tuesday will be fantastic nights. Get in. We've got some great commentary crews as well. Some great locations, some great games. But if that's all from you, Snicko, we will catch you guys all on the same bat channel, the same bat place in about a week's time. In the meantime, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you in the next one. Mwah!